told Nicki Minaj that SZA was in album mode heavy and that he would get it over to her, and that was it. They never spoke again. Feature didn't happen, but he says he's lost after that as well. Like, so then I followed up and I said, okay, so there was no further issue. Like, I still don't understand from that. How did we get here? And he says, I'm lost after that. And the song, he verified what I said. The song that he had been tweeting about, Broken Barbies, was a song by an artist that he is working with now, I Am Lyric. So
He's confused.
He's confused as well.
Did you ask Punch why he ain't post the song last night? That was the time to post.
He said he did.
He did. That's what made Nicki, like, yeah, so he posted.
No. I know you said that he posted it before, and that's what made Nicki react. But in the
So I reached out to Punch from TDE, who I also talked about in the first hour.
midst of everything,
Well, it was like, so
he should have posted it.
Posted
like,
again.
Broken Barbies, baby. This the song. You know?
Nicki
still
Minaj,
confused.
Nicki Minaj posted that she has receipts of being bullied and the retaliation that she's alleging. So maybe now we'll see her side of it because, yeah.
I don't think Nicki is a bully per se. I think that Nicki believes people are always doing something to her, and that's not the
Our
case.
barbs are bullies.
Yeah, no, baby, the barb is on me right now.
Barbs are
So let me
bullies.
say,
So that's what I mean. That's
but
her herself.
I will say, do y'all feel like, and y'all know Nicki Minaj a lot more closely than me or Jess, right? Do you feel like because of the things Nicki Minaj had to deal with as she came
Yes.
up? So, I mean, not to say that it's warranted, but is there like empathy at all for how she be trying to, I guess, protect herself? It just comes off a lot.
Yeah,
the
of
wrong
course.
way.
I mean, you got to think. Nicki came from a place from New York City where New York didn't really believe in her at first.
Well, you
She had to
should
go
play
out
her
of-
music, and
She had to go out of town.
and you still not playing her
I
music.
do play her Nicki music all the time.
Midst of everything,
Well, it was like, so,
he should have posted it. And been
Posted
like,
again.
Oh, yeah.
Broken Barbies, baby. This the song. You know?
Nicki Minaj,
All right, we can go to keep it right there for right now. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what I'm going to say about that whole thing. About this first point right here. First and foremost, what should be happening. Oh my God, my freaking signal's down again. 1 second, y'all. It's cool. It's cool. It always does this when I have too many windows open. I'll close this for right now. You happy now, you bastard? Okay, thank you. Goodness gracious. Because I hate to start cooking and then, you know, the BS, right? But I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me if you still hear me, right? So, first thing I'm going to say is the last part is probably the most important part, which is the villain story. I feel like the modern woman always has a villain story, and there's always a villain story to justify why she's a terrible person today or why she has this bad behavior today. And for the most part, Nicki has always a big part of the end. I'm talking about the end game of feminism because we're coming to the end of feminism, but the behavior, because Nicki kind of always had a bad attitude. Like she never really had a good attitude, and her fan base is mostly modern women and gay people. And one of the reasons why this fan base I feel as though supported Nicki so much was because of the persona. You got to realize that modern women love because really they like to see masculinity come through a non-masculine vessel. I remember years ago, I'll never forget reading this. Now I can't really say too many details about it. It's gonna really blow your mind. But it was an article in Complex when Nicki first started really blowing up, right? And the way that the article is written, so it's an interview and everything, right? The way the article is written as if basically Nicki was making the interviewer uncomfortable the entire time. That she didn't really have a great personality, or she was basically doing what black women do, where they attack you psychologically, block the whole interaction. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, like again, making people uncomfortable on purpose. If I'm making you uncomfortable, I'm controlling the interaction, right? Giving you unnecessary boundaries to follow, and then also talking about them as if you were aware of such boundaries beforehand. All right, that is a big feminist attack strategy where because it causes confusion. Like for example, the whole gender pronouns thing, where daggone well I don't know what the hell your pronouns are. I see a woman here, I say hello lady. I see a man there, I say hi dude. Okay, once I get to know you, then I, you know what I mean. They would say, hey, listen, I know that I'm an ugly man, with this wig on, with or without a wig on. If it's a white dude just grow his hair out. He just grow that shit out and just say, listen, this is what I got. And this is why you need me in office to get legislation passed. Those dudes can wear dresses and shit like that if they want to, but you gonna have to at least be passing. You cannot be a man out here looking crazy talking about I'm a lady. No, you gotta try hard. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get certification to walk around saying. To even say you can't just say you trans. No, you're going to have to go through something. We need some way to qualify you niggas. You know what I mean? Because I need to go through all types of shit to get a license. But somehow these dudes, really these crazy men, these are insane men. These are insane dudes who have somehow just change the rules. Like how do you just change the reality at will? That's crazy. That's some Tom Stone stuff. That's some Doctor Strange type shit. Sorry about my language. I'm sorry. You know, you can take me out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of me. Pause. But anyway, so anywho, let me get to my next point. Oh yeah. So with that interview, I remember reading this interview. And I remember how much it disturbed because they didn't really make Nicki Minaj sound like relatable or likable. Because usually, for the most part, the point of an article is to get people on your side, get people to relate to as an artist and everything. But the era that Nicki Minaj came up in, which was the post social media era, where you can get support in different ways. Now, there was never a way that your fan base could speak and identify themselves in mass the way that the so-called Barbs can. And every time Nicki Minaj has ever had a back and forth, the understanding is that it doesn't matter if Nicki is right or wrong. These people are basically going to bully you online. Meaning that if you post something that about Nicki Minaj that they don't like, basically they will get into your comment section and start verbally attacking you. This is pretty much what like K-Dot fans are pretty much the Barbs. That's how the Barbs act, but probably worse. You understand me? Because it doesn't matter what I post about Drake and Kendrick, it will always be someone in my comment section like just try their hardest to make a point. They go so far to make a point, and that just tells me that, bro, you could have accomplished anything in life. If you want to write me a whole paragraph trying to change it, first of all, why are you trying to change the mind of a grown man who's already made up their mind? But that's interesting. Because we got to think about what is this bullying based on, right? This bullying is based on the idea that you are not allowed to criticize this person. And matter of fact, just to make sure that no one does it and whatnot, people have to think about, do I want to deal with getting mentions and notifications all day long about this post? Because I ain't going to lie. Listen, big boy pants on, which I'm cool with it, but yo, y'all got so butthurt about what I said about the clips. I said that the clips had a terrible rollout because it was corny as fuck. Super corny. Super duper uppercut, super corny. Anywho, we pause. All right, fam, we back. My bad, yo. I just got a message. Anyway, so getting back to this genre right here, man. So, what I'm going to comment on next is Envy's comment about how New York didn't support Nicki at first and what she went through. Okay. Nicki Minaj has a come up story like every other artist, right? But what DJ Envy just did, that's something that black men always feel as though they need to be doing. Whenever there is an opportunity, I'm not even gonna call it simping. It's just more so like it's like I won't want to say running interference. Basically, what you do is stop the moment from happening, and you stop her from being human. Like men don't realize, yo, you stopping that person from being human because you stopping people from looking at them with basically putting them beyond reproach. When you put people beyond reproach, meaning that you can't critique people or you give someone an out, then we don't really have a conversation. Right? That shit is the same as when people have a rough childhood or things happen in their childhood, right? And a lot of men, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of I'm sorry, y'all, my lights went out. The reason why a lot of men don't want to be in relationships anymore with modern women in particular is because most men have to deal with having conversations or having conflicts or going back and forth with somebody, right? Or a woman, and she's telling you that, or you know that because of her childhood, because of how she grew up, and the things that she hasn't let go, you have to suffer. Or you have some people who, because they've labeled what their problems are and they found a neat box to put it into, they feel as though just labeling it. So, for example, right, anxiety. I always think about that big girl I dated from California. She told me when we first met that, hey, if I call you, you need to call me right back, or you need to answer the phone because I get really bad anxiety because I had an ex boyfriend and we didn't talk one day, and next time, basically, she was either calling him, they couldn't get on the phone, right? Basically, he passed away after that. And she would get really upset if she called me and I waited too long to call her back, or if she couldn't get in contact with me. And I knew that, like, I can't. No, no, no. It's not healthy. First and foremost, I'm going to control when we communicate. All right. If I don't want to talk to you at that moment, especially with men don't be realizing that, yo, if you don't establish boundaries, listen, she gonna try to punk you one way or the other. Women are bullies, bro. Actually, and that was another reason why Nicki Minaj had the run she had and had the fan base she had, was because she was always a bit of a bully in a way. And again, she was a bully in a very feminist kind of way, where it's very, now she's not really threatening you outright necessarily, right? But what she is doing is creating an environment where it makes you uncomfortable to say anything back. And for the most part, as social media got bigger and Nicki got more opportunities to express herself and talk and stuff like that, you know what I mean? You started kind of seeing like, yo, you have terrible behavior. But you got to realize, if you're a straight male, or if you're a family oriented like woman, I would guess, not even woman, let's not even call women. We're going to say, if you're a straight male, you can't really listen to how she talk and think that, oh man, I'm really enjoying this conversation. I remember when she came on the Joe Budden podcast, I think they came, so Rory Moore and Joe came to her show, and before that, Rory basically she came to the Joe Budden podcast. I remember like her whole appearance there. It was just like, it was uncomfortable. It was just uncomfortable to watch. Like, cause you know what I mean? Hold on, real quick. Let me pull it up. Nicki Minaj, Joe.
It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool. Let me tell you something. You might laugh. When I spoke to you, you will never know what it's like to constantly be lied on, to constantly be bullied, to constantly be attacked.
Fair
you
use.
Will never. And still have to get in the fucking studio, write your own fucking raps, and deliver every fucking time, and be successful time and time again. After 12 fucking years, you will never know how that fucking feel, my nigga. You will never know what it's like. Shut the fuck up. I could talk about pussy, I could talk about the moon, the sky, every motherfucking thing under this fucking moon, and rap circles around bitches' heads. I don't give a fuck. And rapping fast don't mean you could rap, so shut the fuck up. And looking ugly or looking like a man don't mean you could rap, so sit down. Next.
Correct.
The fuck up. I could.
She went through the ringer with the Starship shit when she tried to go pop, and we killed her, hated her. That was a lot. That would have been a lot of people's last shot. Then she went through her media war with me and Pete and Ibra, with Charlamagne and everybody in the world. She feel like for a good stretch of that last decade, it was up for her. That Queen album came out, y'all didn't fuck with it, I did. Then she went quiet again. Now we killed her over, her family killed her over, all that shit. So when I come back, and if it works, I'm on y'all ass.
Got it.
Every one of y'all that had, back to my point, I have a list. Every one of y'all that had something to say, if this works, is out of here. So when that Everybody record start taking off, when that other record I like a lot, the FTCU track 2, the one I love, when that record start taking off, oh, it's up now. I'm firing in whoever, and there's nothing none of you bitches can do about it, because nobody is selling like me. Again.
All right, so here's the thing about Joe, and I kind of respect that Joe understands content, and Joe has learned how to put content together. Like, when I do tune in, I can't say it's not engaging. Like, he know what to talk about, because Joe's a psychopath, all right? So people who are psychos like that, they're able to look at things completely different, right? And this is another example of, but this is a thing that black men do in general. Black men will also feed into the storylines that women create. They'll feed into the storyline. They'll support the storyline. So for Joe, what Joe has to do, Joe understands, all right, I have to lead this show in terms of having a strong take and being able to make my argument. That's one of the most important things about content is having a strong take. But I'm going to keep making the argument that instances like this, when people hear these kind of things, and listen, someone watching a video like this can change their mind, their whole perspective on who Nicki is. And this is the importance of media, especially when you have a big voice. The fact that Joe was able to articulate a good argument for her behavior, and basically try to find a way to make her into somewhat of a victim. All by, listen, you heard how Nicki be talking. Nicki is not a meek person. She always been a savage, but again, that's one of the reasons why she dominated and has been around this long, because her character, she's everything that modern women want to be. Everything is fake. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like no accountability, to the point where one day she ain't had no booty, and then 2009 now she got this big old ass. And I guess we just understood. All right, well, that's okay. She has a big fake butt, big fake butt now, and it was like an obnoxiously fake butt too. You know what I mean? And that was the beginning of like you seeing that more often. I'm sure that was always going on, but like after that, when Nicki Minaj came out with that bang, which is still her look to this day that works the best for her, the bang, and just the whole like the corset with the leggings and the streak of color in the hair, all that shit. Basically, Nicki Minaj really helped to cement making the whore look and the stripper look, cause that's all that's that stripper shit. Because basically her character was like, like I talk, I dress, I'm because her character was always, I'm like a stripper that rap real good, because she's even used to use stripper lingo, was popping on a handstand, and then you got actual stripper and authentic, because like Cardi B is like a nigga that came out of jail and made it right after he came out of jail. Like she was an actual, like she was on social media. You can find videos of her on social media making Instagram live videos while she was still a stripper, while she was like still dancing and then trying to become an artist. And it's crazy seeing all these years later, like she's still relevant. And I still really do enjoy Cardi. Man, fucking ghetto. But anyway. But that video, that last clip I played, that doesn't help. But it does help at the same time. And that also bridges me to my other point I made about the Drake and Kendrick beef, where in the part that media played in that whole thing, because media has always told people what to think, and that's why credible sources are important, or they're mentioning this comes from a credible source. All those things are important, right? But if you have big voices in the media giving strong opinions about this battle, right? And the nicest thing that any person who with prominence would say, aside from 50 Cent, is that, hey man, we know you real